And I told her I don't care if he is her husband. Right now,
It's time to rise from the grave, pour yourself a cup, and enjoy the Coffee Crypt.
Hello and welcome to the Coffee Crypt. We have another coffee break for you. Angel is off this week, so you got me. Uh, Again, I'm Steve. If you don't know, we have a few things to go over. It's been a kind of busy week with horror news. We've had a couple of trailers to talk about, a couple of movies, a couple of shows, and then just some general news that I want to go through you this Sunday. So the first big trailer that dropped is Insidious, The Red Door, Insidious 5. Um, I am a pretty big, I can't say I'm the biggest Insidious fan, but I am a pretty big Insidious fan. I love James Wan, uh, Patrick Wilson, Rose Byrne. The whole cast is phenomenal in those movies. Barbara Hershey, I mean, my God. Um, so Lin Shaye, I mean, my gosh. That whole cast is fantastic. I think, most people would agree that the series kind of falls off a little bit with the third and fourth one. Still enjoyable. I think Lin Shaye is fantastic. Her and the team, Lee Winnell, like, they do well enough. Fantastic. But so this trailer, Insidious the Red Door, we have the Lambert back 10 years later after the initial incident, with Dalton and the further, and now he's in college, he's going to art school. And the family is still kind of reeling from that trauma, and Dalton is kind of unpacking. It looks like maybe there's a little bit of, not amnesia, but not really remembering what's going on. And it seems that his parents kept a lot of that information from him. So he is unpacking, as he kind of explores his art, his painting, and then Patrick Wilson, is kind of also dealing with some of that trauma and some of the Lambert family secrets. And it's just sees the crew come back. Even Lin Shaye is back in some of the in some flashbacks, some video recordings, a la Randy and Scream 2. I do appreciate how filmmakers find creative ways to bring back past characters. So yeah, that comes out July 7th. Yeah, I think that I don't think the trailer gave away too much. I think it definitely, James Wan is not directing, but it has that James Wan Insidious feel to it that I appreciate. Kind of this very similar camera angles and lighting choices, and just the overall art direction that seems pretty on point. And I'm just happy, we're gonna get kind of some closure to that story with the family, and I guess we'll see. We'll see if they leave it open for more. But let us know what you think about the trailer in the comments below. Now these next set of trailers, I'm actually gonna watch them tonight, myself. They are the third Saturday in October, part 5 and part 1. uh yeah, you heard that right. Part 5 is meant to be watched first. These are kind of throwback films to like 80s slashers, with part 1 kind of being the revered slasher classic, and part 5 being the 90s cash grab kind of sequel that you might see in a blockbuster, wandering through the aisles. And that's kind of what the filmmakers were saying, that this is supposed to make you feel like you're discovering these films out of order, having just wandered a blockbuster or, local video, mom and pop shop kind of place, that you just see like this crazy cover and you're like, "Ooh, what's that?" And then you start, with part 5, and then you go back and you discover the originals. And I kind of like that they're kind of pulling on the nostalgia, but in a creative way. And those are actually out right now, video on demand. You have to rent them. I think I saw it for like $6.99, $5.99, something like that. So a little bit more than the dollar VHS rentals I used to get at Hollywood Video in the late 90s, early 2000s. But yeah, I mean, I'm down to see it. I think they look fun. It follows a masked killer escape from death row named Jacariah, and he stalks teens, early 20 somethings, in kind of a rural neighborhood as they sit down to watch a local college football game, or local, whatever. I don't know football that well. I know it's not Super Bowl time, so I guess that's, yeah, when all the colleges play, I guess is, I don't know. You tell, if you know football more, you can let me know. Is a third Saturday in October a big football day? Maybe it is. I guess it is. But let us know if you've seen it, what you think. Did it give you those nostalgic vibes that they're hoping for? Yeah, let us know. So on Hulu, on the 24th, May 24th this month, is a limited Australian series. It's 8 parts called The Clearing, and I believe it's based on a real life cult. I don't know the details of this cult, so I don't know how accurate it is. I'm sure they took some liberties to make it interesting. You have to. But it follows a woman who's forced to confront her nightmares of her past in order to stop a secret cult intent on gathering children to fulfill its master plan. The trailer provides some nice kind of chilling psychological creepiness, a lot of imagery, got like it seemed to target all blonde children. So it's got like these weird Lalarian vibes to it. But it's starring Teresa Palmer, Miranda Otto, and Guy Pearce. Miranda Otto I love as Aunt Zelda in The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. No shade to the original Zelda and Hilda. I love them too. But I thought Miranda Otto was fantastic as Zelda. But yeah, so that's May 24th. Sorry if you hear my son screaming. He is wiling out upstairs. And I'm not going to edit that out. That's parenting. Oh well. Y'all understand. Yeah, so I mean, I'm excited. I haven't really watched a good psychological thriller in a while. So it's all about limited true crime series these days, as Gail would say in Scream 6. And then the last trailer was just a short teaser. There he goes again. Is a short teaser called Twisted Metal. For those that don't know, Twisted Metal is a long-running video game series. It's pretty much battle royale. You're set up in this dystopian future. You deck out a car with blasters and rockets and all this stuff, and your goal is to destroy your opponents. So it's starring Anthony Mackie, Stephanie Beatriz, Thomas Hayden Church, Nev Campbell. Speaking of Scream, Will Arnett is voicing Sweet Tooth, one of the more popular characters from the game. Yeah, and that's going to be July 27th on Paramount Plus. I did not play the games. My husband did. I know he liked them a lot. So that's something we're going to be watching together. I know not quite horror related, but horror-esque, especially when you look at Sweet Tooth and all that. All right, so those are some of the trailers and teasers that we had in these past couple of weeks. Onto some news. There is a Halloween board game coming out that I am super excited for. It's a tabletop game based on the first movie. You can play as Laurie, Annie, Linda. I believe you can play as Dr. Loomis, Sheriff Brackett. Bob. You can play as Bob. And yeah, and I think you can play. I don't know if Michael is an automated character that you just he has like a turn in between everyone else's turns, or someone gets to play as him. But it is a hidden movement game, and that is coming out. Do we have a date on that? I gotta look. I probably should have wrote it down before. Early August. Early August. It's gonna be $60. I don't know if it's online only. But it features illustrations by horror artist Nathan Thomas Milliner, and it's by Trick or Treat Studios that are creating it, and I'm sure it'll be available, on Amazon, all that jazz. I don't think you have to go to their website to buy it, but I'm excited. I love games like this, where like the villain kind of has a turn while all the heroes are moving around. There's a Jaws game that's kind of like this. That we've played a couple of times at my house. Yeah, so keep an eye out for that late August. Husband's not a big Halloween fan, but I'm going to definitely be making him play it. We got our first look at Maxine. Nothing crazy, just kind of a quick little shot of Mia Goth in this like emerald green jacket, walking the streets of LA. Yeah, not much to glean from the picture itself. She's sporting some platinum blonde locks. She's looking fabulous, I can tell you that. I'm excited for Maxine. I mean, the cast, if you don't know, it's got like Kevin Bacon, Halsey, Giancarlo Esposito, Bobby Cannavale, like just stellar cast. Mia Goth, has been saying this is the best of the three. You know, they're always going to say that when the new one comes out. Does she mean it? Probably. I don't know. I love Pearl. I loved X. X was my favorite release of that year. Even with Scream coming out that year, that was pretty much my top horror of 22. So I'm excited. Maxine, I believe, is coming out next year. Well, they're filming now, so maybe it might be ready in the fall. If you remember, let me know. Comment in the section below. Evil Dead Rise. We have Evil Dead fans celebrate. It hit $100 million this week, which is a great sign for future sequels. I know that Lee Cronin has discussed 4 possible avenues that he would like to take it, including what happens in the apartment complex afterwards. He also toyed with the idea of doing origins of some of these books, or doing a little bit of time travel, going into the far past. I mean, the possibilities are endless. I was overall happy with the film. I know Angel will echo my feelings. She has a YouTube short reaction out there for you guys to check out if you haven't seen it yet. And I think we pretty much are probably on the same page. She really liked the first act or two. She felt that some of the Deadite lines were a bit campy, which I like camp, so don't know if I agree with that part. Sorry, Angel. No. There was something a little bit off, I think, with Evil Dead Rise. I enjoyed it. But yeah, kind of like she says in her short, it's not the 2013 film, which is for me one of the best. It's up there for me with Evil Dead 2. And then my ranking is floating somewhere out there on Twitter. But it's I enjoyed Evil Dead Rise. I think the gore is great. Once it really gets going, it's fun. I appreciate a lot of the creature designs, especially in that third act. I love to see some messed up creature designs, which I feel like, outside of like Malignant, Smile, we got a little bit of that actually. I'm happy to see some of that come back, so real attention to those designs, whether it's practical or digital. It's, it just, give me that schlocky feel. I enjoy it. That grotesque kind of the thing like designs, I appreciate that. And I'm glad we're seeing it again a bit in Barbarian too, right? Got some fun stuff with that. So glad to see that kind of creativity in the genre shine back through. And then lastly, I will not discuss it in detail due to spoilers. I don't want to spoil anything for y'all. But The Exorcist requel, Believer, had some of its first footage revealed. It's not available online. I think they had a preview probably somewhere. It was at a festival or some convention or something where they showed some footage. And so if you you can go Googling and find that if you so please, if you're inclined. It'll probably be in the trailer, so it's probably not super spoilery. But it harkens back to the mom's return. Totally blanking on her name for a second. But yeah. So it harkens back to some of the character returns, some of the vibe, a little bit of, some plot information is in there. So that's floating around. So that's it for today's coffee break. Short and sweet for you. Now go enjoy your Sunday, and we'll catch you in 2 weeks. Take care.